Hello everybody, sorry for being late. Today's lesson will be writing. راح يكون درس اليوم writing. Today's lesson will be a very brief lesson because the writing skill is actually an interactive skill between you and your teacher. يعني مهارة الكتابة عادة تكون مهارة تفاعلية بينك وبين معلمتك. Okay. So the main objective of today's lesson is to write إن احنا نكتب, okay? But you have to write an essay comparing and contrasting between two things. راح نكتب مقال عبارة عن مقارنة بين شيئين, okay? فمينلي راح أشرح لكم الفكرة وبشرح لكم بعض الأفكار اللي ممكن تساعدكم في الكتابة. خلاص. Let's start. So you have a picture or you have pictures or photos of desks and it seems that this is a class. واضح إن هذا فصل. And here there is a student who is on the computer اللي هو على الكمبيوتر. So I'm guessing that today we will be talking about online learning versus face-to-face learning اللي هو التعلم عن بعد بالمقارنة بالتعلم في الفصل أو التعلم face-to-face وجها لوجه. Now I have a couple of questions for you for discussion. عندي بعض الأسئلة للمناقشة as it's here. Do you know anyone who's studying online? Of course, right now, the whole kingdom of Saudi Arabia, probably the whole world, ممكن العالم كله is studying online, قاعد يتعلم عن بعد, okay? Now, if I may ask you, and you can leave me your answer in the comment box below, ممكن تتركون لي إجاباتكم في box التعليقات. If you prefer to learn online, إذا كنتوا تفضلون إنكم تدرسون online, and can you support your answer if yes or no? ممكن تدعمون رأيكم بنعم أو لا بأنه you should give a reason. So some people would prefer to learn online. ممكن البعض يفضل إنه يدرس عن بعد because it's not restricted by time or place لأنها مو محدودة بالوقت أو الزمن. While others, they prefer to learn face-to-face because they have to interact with the teacher. يفضلون البعض أنهم يتعلمون وجه لوجه لأنهم يحبون أنهم يتفاعلون مع المعلمة and their mates. Do you prefer to communicate with your teacher and classmates face-to-face? Why and why not? هل تفضلين إنك يعني إنك تتواصل مع معلمتك وزملائك وجها لوجه? Why and why not? Okay, you can discuss these questions with your teacher. Okay, and you can brainstorm. ممكن تسوي عصف ذهني for your answers. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. What are the differences? What do you think the differences اللي هي الاختلافات between the online learning and face-to-face learning? Right now you have to read the text and answer the questions. خلاص. طبعا هذا mainly هذا التكست learning face-to-face and online اللي هو النص اللي معطى عندكم عادة يكون for modeling عشان يكون نموذج للكتابة عشان تكتبون عليه اللي هو الموضوع المطلوب منكم. So I'm not gonna turn this into a reading lesson. ما راح أحوله إلى درس reading. So you can read by yourself and then we can go back to the question. You may pause the video or try to go to page number 14 and read the text or the essay below. ممكن تقرأ التكست. Since that after for example you have read this text ممكن كنتوا قرأتوه, we can now discuss the answers or the questions. Read the text and answer the question. What is the trend for university courses? إيش الترند? Okay, so it says here that the internet has played a determining role in transferring the face of education as we used to know. So I'm guessing in a trend, تعرفوا إيش معنى trend? Trend means اللي هي الموجة أو مثلا عفوا اللي trend اللي هو صاير, تعرفون trendy يعني اللي صاير يعني منتشر أو مرغوب أكثر. Trend, you know it is pretty much very popular word. Now, what kind of student, okay, obtain for online courses? Option for online courses. Okay, so what kind of students choose, okay, online learning? Okay, now take a minute to find the answer. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, so the students who choose usually online learning are working adult students. They prefer online courses as they offer the flexibility that they need to combine learning with work. In other words, individuals whose time and or mobility are restricted are happier with online courses. طبعا الناس اللي يفضلون الأونلاين learning عادة خلاص اللي هو عادة الطلاب اللي يفضلون الأونلاين كورسز اللي هم عندهم مرونة، اللي هم عادة الطلاب اللي يعملون وفي نفس الوقت يشتغلون، عندهم لأن في مرونة انهم يجمعون بين العمل ويجمعون بين الشغل، عفوا العمل والتعلم، وبرضو يعني عندهم الوقت وقدرة على التنقل محدودة، فهم جدا مبسوطين مع الأونلاين learning. Now, why do some students, the next question, enroll in face-to-face courses? Okay, some of the students enroll, you will find it in this paragraph, okay. On the other hand, a large number of students enroll in face-to-face courses as they feel, إنه بعضهم يشعرون, face-to-face instruction and communication with peers will help them understand concept better and learn more efficiently. Okay, or effectively. Okay, so البعض يفضل إنه هو يتواصل مع الأقران، okay، لأنه more effective. خلاص، more effective. إنه بالنسبة لهم فعال أكثر. Now, which type of course is more successful? خلاص, which one is more successful? خلاص, أي أفضل، أي واحد منهم أكثر نجاحا. So, in the last paragraph, اللي هو in this paragraph, okay, it explains in brief that both of the groups, خلاص, both of the learning types are very good type of learning. اثنينهم جيدين. You may read it in details. ممكن تقرؤونه بالتفصيل وبعدين you can summarize it in your own words. Now we should read the text again and find out which paragraph. خلاص. As you could see that we have a number of paragraphs. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 paragraphs. خلاص. First usually is the introduction and the last one is what we call the conclusion. And what is in between is the body. يعني الأولى يكون عادة مقدمة. خلاص. الوسط يكون الوسط اللي هو البادي. والأخير يكون عادة الخاتمة. Now we have to read them in details and read the text again and find out which paragraph. Now which paragraph presents information about face-to-face learning. خلاص. Which one? Yes, it is paragraph number 3. Paragraph number 3. So paragraph number 3 presents information about face-to-face learning. Okay, now sets the scene, okay, and introduce the topic. طبعا introducing usually the topic, okay, is in paragraph number 1 اللي هي المقدمة, usually the introduction. Now the next question presents information about online courses. Online courses, yes, paragraph number 2. And the last one, which is rounds up issues, اللي هي تقريب وجهات النظر. Yes, it is in the conclusion, which is the 4th paragraph, اللي هو الباراجراف رقم 4. Okay, the conclusion. The conclusion. So both groups defend their respective choice, اللي هما وجهات نظرهم. Anyways, Now let's move on. So this is a paragraph is written in the way of contrast and comparing. مقارنة بين face to face and online learning. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, before we start this lesson, or before I introduce the lesson that you should write about, class, today's lesson will be about comparing and contrast. خلاص, comparing and contrast or contrasting. Okay, مقارنة. Okay, usually I want to just explain to you something. راح أوضح لكم نقطة. طبعا right now you're supposed to write an essay. مفروض إن احنا نكتب essay اللي هو بنكتب مقال، مش paragraph، لا، والمقال يكون فيه introduction و body و conclusion. يكون في المقال عادة مقدمة، وسط، وخاتمة. طبعا أبي أشرح لكم قبل ما أشرح أي حاجة إن في something which is called the process of writing. process of writing اللي هي كيف أكتب، اللي هي مرحلة الكتابة usually goes through 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so the process of writing includes 5 steps. أول حاجة اللي هي pre-writing. Okay, and pre-writing, this is when we gather information اللي هو قبل القراءة. خلاص, we have time to think. إن الواحد عنده وقت إنه يفكر. brainstorm، يعصف. بعدها نمر بمرحلة drafting اللي هي مرحلة الدرافتنج اللي نسميها المسودة. Okay, time to write down، إن احنا نكتب. 3 we should revise. so revising، مراجعة، لازم نراجع اللي كتبناه. This is when we have time to improve our writing عشان الواحد يحسن. we also ممكن تعطينا لأي أحد أو تعطيه لأي أحد إنه يراجع لك. Number 4 is called editing. خلاص، اللي هو يعني time to make things correct اللي هي التحرير. And the last one is what is called publishing اللي هي publishing لما أنا مثلا الحين time to share my writing، خلاص الحين جاهز للتسليم. فهنا أنا شرحت لكم something very important which is called the process of writing. خلاص، راح أشرح لكم pre-writing اللي هي عادة تكون مرحلة اللي هي brainstorming، العصف الذهني. And this is something that you can do with your teacher. خلاص. Before we start, I'm gonna explain to you that sometimes we use أحيانا نستخدم what is called graphic organizer اللي هي منظمة للمعلومات. And today, since that this is a compare and contrast, خلاص, we are gonna use what is called Venn diagram. Venn diagram. Venn diagram is 2 overlap circles. خلاص، اللي هما دائرتين they overlap، يعني في عندهم بالنص مشتركين. For comparing and contrast. فرضاً we have this topic is number 1 and this is the topic number 2. خلاص. And this we are gonna write the differences. Okay, differences. الاختلافات. Okay, while here we will write what will they have in common، المشترك، or what they share. Okay, so do you understand right now the meaning of Venn diagram? 2 overlap circle. Okay, هنا المختلف وهنا المشترك. خلاص. Now let's move on to the topic that you should be writing about. Now study the chart below. What is the topic
Okay, for discussion shown is about. خلاص أنا بس بوضح لكم الحين إنه هنا we have the chart, and today's lesson we will be writing about socializing on the internet and socializing in person, both the similarity. خلاص اللي هو التواصل أو التواصل يعني on the internet على الانترنت، مثلا لما نتواصل على الانستغرام أو مثلا نتواصل على الواتساب، وهنا socializing in person يعني شخص لشخص. خلاص now you have to write an essay comparing and contrasting the two ways of socializing، كيف طرق التواصل الاجتماعي، and say which you prefer and why، أي اللي تفضل and why. خلاص you can discuss this with your teacher, and you have a graphic organizer. خلاص عندك برضو اللي هي منظمة للمعلومات اللي هي الجرافيك organizer. هنا socializing in person features, socializing in online features خصائص، same and differences الاختلافات والفروقات. طبعا مثل ما انتم عارفين we should start with وطبعا لازم نبدأ نكتب العنوان. خلاص and then we leave a space، نترك مسافة 5 or 6 letters and we start. خلاص طبعا this is what is called the introduction، المقدمة، بعدين البادي ممكن، وبعدين تكون الخاتمة conclusion. خلاص طبعا you should also here use some of the phrases and expression which might help you. خلاص ممكن نقول طبعا في عادة في الباراجرافات اللي فيها similarity and differences ممكن we use phrases to say what is similar, likewise, in the same way, similarly, as well as both. هنا بعض الكلمات اللي تستخدمها للتشابه. Use phrases to say what is the difference. هنا بعض الكلمات اللي تستخدم للفرق. In contrast, however, on the other hand, provide example to illustrate what you mean with the phrases like, for example, as in, such as, in other words. هذولي ممكن تساعدكم الكلمات إذا جيت بتعطين examples e.g. خلاص لأن you have to support your idea. Now you have to as well underline examples of phrases used in the ممكن ترجعون للتكست اللي قبل وتشوفون الphrases اللي استخدمت عشان تعطي مقارنة وتشابه. مثلا هنا لما قلنا on the contrary. خلاص ممكن برضو في عدة كلمات ذكرت ممكن for example on the other hand. okay مثلا هنا on the other hand. خلاص so you can just go to the model، ممكن ترجعون للنموذج وتعرفون. خلاص in paragraph 4 line 1 both groups defend is used to compare. خلاص هنا ممكن استخدمها برضو للمقارنة. خلاص طبعا ولازم ان الحين since that you are asked to give your opinion, personally I prefer, I'd rather, than, because, the reason for this. طبعا مطلوب انكم تذكرون which one you prefer. خلاص طبعا this is in brief باختصار الدرس. ومثل ما قلت لكم the writing lesson is an interactive lesson، يعني المفروض يكون في تفاعل بينك وبين معلمك أو معلمتك. So this is the best that I could do. هذا أفضل ما عندي. أتمنى يعني إنكم استفدتوا. I'm just gonna write now one more time the process of writing, and you should know them by heart. لازم تعرفونهم. خلاص اللي أي مرحلة من الكتابة تمر بهالمراحل هذه الخمسة. I hope you enjoyed our lesson. خلاص don't forget to share the video and subscribe, and also leave me a comment about what you think of the lesson. Have a good one.